Most golfers think they need a better swing to lower their score, but that's usually not true. If you shoot around 100, there's a good chance you're three putting 10 to 14 times per round. That means you could save 10 to 14 strokes without changing your swing at all. In this video, we're going to talk about exactly why this happens and how to start turning those three putts into simple two putts. Let me show you something that most golfers never realize. So there's some math. Let's see if I can pull this up. Where are you? All right, here we go. All right, so here's the plan. So we want to break 100 on a par 72 course. Now, that doesn't seem possible, does it? Well, to break 100 par 72, you're going to figure that you have 4 par 5s, 4 par 3s, and the rest, which is 10, are par 4s. Now, with 4 par 5s and 10 par 4s, that is 14 driver holes. So that means 14 shots that are longer that you're most likely going to be using your driver on. All right, so what does that leave us? That means you have 86 remaining shots to break 100. Now, if you figure 18 iron or approach shots, 18 wedge and chip shots in case you're not getting onto the green, that's 36 approach or secondary shots. Let's go to the math. So now that is 50 shots so far. That means you have 50 shots left. If you are under 50 shots, that means you have 50 more on the green to break 100. What does that equal? 2.8 putts per hole. That means you need 4 two putts and 14 three putts. Now, we said before, we do not like three putts. So to break 100 on a par 72, 14 three putts in 18 holes, that's a lot. If you can cut out three putts fully or even a couple, you're saving 14 strokes. So that means if you had 50 shots to get you to the green and you cut out three putts, you can shoot an 86. So realistically, three putts on every hole, that's 18. If you do it the way we just talked about, 14. Realistically, I think you can cut 10 to 14 strokes off just by not three putting. It really depends what you do. If you four putt and get down to a two putt, that's even better. That is what I think can save you. Now let's go back to regular, and realistically, I know that there's going to be times you still three putt. But if you want to break 100, it is 100% possible. 14 three putts are 14 wasted strokes. It means you made a mistake somewhere. Most golfers don't need birdies. They need fewer mistakes. The time you need birdies is when you're trying to get under par. We're not trying to do that right now. We're trying to break 100 or 90, whatever we're trying to do. All of those numbers are above par. If you shoot bogey golf over the course of an 18-hole round, whether it's a par 70, par 72, you are going to be around 90. If it's a 70, you'll be 88 if you're playing bogey golf. If you play par, great. But cutting those strokes out will save you. Now, we could talk about short game. We could talk about chipping. All of that's going to change things. But what I just showed on those whiteboard slides or those chalkboard slides, that shows you that it is 100% doable, that if you start two putting instead of three putting, you are cutting strokes. Even if you shoot 120, cutting out three putts is great. And that's going to drop you to where you want to be. Now, if you're 4 or 5 are getting frustrated, the biggest thing, you need to start learning to rely on your putter. But to do that, you need to practice it. And the crazy part is, most of these three putts come from one mistake. If you don't know your speeds, boom, you go right past the hole. If you're 10 feet off, you might not hit that. That's a three putt. You could end up off the green if it slopes down. I know hole 1 at Sunset, where I play a lot, if you're above the hole, your first putt's going basically back off the green. So those are things you need to think about. Now, why do golfers three putt so much? Poor distance control. I talk about my putter gapping that I do. That has changed the way that I putt. It has been extremely helpful to me. I know how far I need to go, and then I take that to the practice green before a round and gauge it to the way the course is going to be that day. If you're not reading the slope, now as you're learning, it's hard to understand that, but at least the up, down, little bit of side to side, you can check that out on the practice green too. And it takes time to learn that. I'm not going to lie. But if you have a downhill, you're going to lose the ball quicker. You need to putt a little bit less than where you want to be. If it's an uphill, might need a little bit more. That's why I said practice on the practice green beforehand. Now, a side to side, it can get a little funky. You have to remember though, if you hit the ball faster, it's going to get less of a break. If you're slower, it's going to take more of the break. I'm not saying you should change the speed you're putting with. You just need to know what it's going to do with the way you roll the ball. You also shouldn't try to make everything. It's unrealistic. Nobody does it. Nobody has 18 putts per round. You need to try to get close. Leaving the first putt too short or too long where it puts you in a bad spot is not good. I've always been a lag putter. If I'm more than about 10 feet away, I'm going to try to get close to the hole so that my next putt can go in. And on average, I'm under two putts per hole every round. Here and there, I'll hit a couple three putts, from round to round. Really, four putts. If I'm four putting, I'm probably walking off the course because it's just one of those days. You need to have your head in the game, and you need to know that you can do what you need to do. A good putter isn't someone who makes everything. It's someone who never three putts. Now, the goal of the first putt, it's a very simple concept. Your first putt, you want to be within 3 feet of the hole. Whether you're 15 feet away, 20, 30. I know some people say once you're past 30, you need to practice your short game. Well, we need to practice everything. Realistically, you are going to have times where you're across the green. You might have a 50, 60 foot putt. Get as close as you can. Lag putting is where you want to be around the hole. If you can get within 3 feet, you shouldn't be missing a 3-foot putt. Do we miss them? Yes. Should you be? No. That's just concentration. Lag putting changed the way that I putted, and it turned me into a much better golfer in high school because I knew that if I could get close, it was a two putt almost automatically. And that saved my scores because the other parts of my game weren't that great. Your first putt isn't a scoring putt, it's a setup putt. It's no different than if you're on a par five and you know you can't reach the green. And if you hit a wood, you might be too far away. So you hit a 4-iron instead to put yourself close enough that you're 50 off and you know that your wedge will get you on. It's the same thing. It's a setup. And if you understand one simple rule for distance control, your three putts will drop fast. So here's the simple rule. Get the ball past the hole, but within a 3-foot circle. Dying putts tend to cause three putts because if you're afraid to go past, a lot of times you're going to be way too short. So even if you set a club behind the hole, set it 3 feet behind, you want to be between the hole and that club. If you can continually do that, you're going to be set. The closer you get to the hole, the better, but don't leave it short. Speed control is more important than line to me. Now, you can argue that, yes, obviously, if your line is 10 feet off that way, that's a problem. What I'm saying is you don't have to be dead on. You're not going for the hole. You want to put it close. Speed control is what's going to give you your distance. If you can control the speed and know how far you're putting, you can get the ball to the hole. If you're 3 inches offline, okay, I get that, you want to be a little bit closer, but you're within 3 feet just offline. You're not trying to go in, you're trying to get it close. Now, there's a mindset shift Most golfers try to make 30 footers. How many times have you tried to? You're most likely not going to. Sure, you could hit one here and there. We all do. You get too aggressive and you blow the ball 6 feet past the hole. So what happens now? Now you're frustrated because you didn't make a putt that you probably shouldn't have made anyway, and you missed the second one. Go for the third one. Hopefully, you hit that. Great putters play for the next putt, not necessarily this one. They set themselves up for success. How many three putts did you have in your last round? Comment down below. I had 0. The rest of my game was terrible that day, but I had none. Now, it's been cold in New Jersey. We're finally starting to see warmth. Today's the first nice day we've had in a long time, and I can't wait to get back out on the course. But I've been working on my putting. If you cut 3 putts in half, your score is going to drop. If you had 6 and get it down to 3, you just gain 3 strokes. There's a lot of people who go out there, go to the driving range, and they continually hit driver, hit 3-wood, hit the big clubs. Not a lot of people are practicing with the putter and the wedges, and to me, that's the most important part of your game. Sure, if you can drive the ball 300 yards, that's great, but I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna keep saying it. If you can get within 50 yards of the green, that's great. If you can't put the ball in the hole, well, that sucks. That's the end of it. So focus on putting. Start practicing. This year, really lock that in. Go to the putter gapping. Check out other videos I've done that talk about it. You don't need a perfect swing to break 100. You don't need a perfect putting stroke to break 100. You need to stop giving strokes away. And one place that you can really do that is on the greens. Next time you play, track your 3 putts. You might be surprised how many strokes they're costing you. And honestly, if you don't track things like that, you should. I track fairways, greens in regulation, putts, sand traps, anything that might help me learn. And I think that that's important. Now, if you're realizing that you need more help than just these videos, check out the video that's going to be popping up. It's part of our Golf Reboot training program. It's about 45 minutes long. And you can also, if you want, sign up. We still have some spots for our beta testers where they get even more information. So comment beta down below. Check out that video that's popping up. My goal is to help 1,000 golfers get better in 2026. And I want to see that happen for you.